Hi boys and girls. So today we're going to be thinking about take a moment. We did this at the start of the year when we thought about different emotions that Skipper was feeling, positive emotions, negative emotions, and how they make us feel. So we'll start by having a look back over some of the slides that came from the PowerPoint that we looked at in our first Take a Moment assembly. So, we felt Take a Moment was another important part of Skipper's toolkit to review at this time during lockdown, because you may be feeling lots of these different emotions at the moment when you're stuck at home. We talked about this again last week in our video, thinking about the fact that sometimes you feel really good, but other times you're maybe feeling a bit negative or frustrated or sick of being at home or missing friends, etc. So, the first thing that Skipper showed us was that when you are having times where you are feeling negative emotions and you might be feeling it all gets a bit too much for you, was to slow down and take 5 seconds and just take some breaths. There are lots of really good videos on YouTube that are linked to mindfulness for children, mindfulness breathing. They're all about 10-15 minutes long. So if you're having a particularly difficult time, you could search on YouTube and maybe try out some of those. So Skipper talked basically about putting the anchor down, taking some breaths. The important thing is when you are feeling difficult emotions is that you have things that you can do to help make you feel better. So when we did this in school, we looked at lots of different ways that you could do things that made you feel better. And most classes either talked about or wrote about their Take a Moment toolkit, things that you could do in moments where you're feeling stressful. These were ways that you could kind of distract yourself. And so what we're going to do now is we're going to hear from some of the staff at school about the things they've been doing at home when they have needed to take a moment.
Hello everyone, I just wanted to talk to you today about the different things that I do to take a moment and to de-stress, which is obviously really important for everyone at the moment. So some of the things that I like to do, you'll all know that I really love to read, so I've been reading a lot at the moment, and the children in my class know that I've been reading a series of books for nearly a year now, because they're quite long books, and I was on number 6 when we finished school, so I've managed to finish that one, and I'm on to number 7 now. So I've been doing a lot of reading. I'm really lucky because we live just on the edge of the countryside, so for my daily exercise, I've been able to go out on walks into the woods and into the countryside, and that's been really nice to help me de-stress and spend a lot of time in nature. And I've also been doing quite a bit of baking and quite a bit of cooking as well, and all of that's been really helpful in letting me take a moment and have some time to de-stress. I hope that you're all taking plenty of time to do whatever it is that helps you to take a moment and de-stress as well, because it's so important at the moment. Bye.
Hi everyone. I don't need to tell you, I'm sure, that one of the things I like to do to take a moment and to relax is to play the piano. I love to play tunes that I know, and I love to make them up as I go along.
Hello everybody, I've taken you out into my garden, which is my favourite place to come and take a moment. If I'm feeling at all stressed or worried, I love to come out here. And every morning, I like to start my day with a cup of coffee here. But my favourite thing to do is to bring my dogs out here for a play. Hey, Hazel. You might notice that one of my dogs looks a little bit like Mrs. Hill's dog. If you're in primary 6 or 7, you'll remember that my dog Yaz, the black and white spaniel, had puppies. So Mrs. Hill's dog is Sol's brother. Another thing I like to do, to take a moment for myself, as lots of the other teachers have said, is to read a book. I love reading lots of different kinds of books, and the weather's been really nice recently. So I like to take my book out into the garden and enjoy some time out here reading. I've also been doing what a lot of the other teachers have been doing as well, which is baking. I've been trying to bake the perfect loaf of bread. It's not going very successfully, but I do really enjoy it. I hope that you and your families at home are all finding ways to take a moment. Sometimes when a family member takes a moment, it's maybe not the kind of moment you would like to take. Mr. Cully likes to take a moment by playing guitar, and as you can imagine, that's quite noisy. So again, that's why it's sometimes nicer to take a moment outside. I hope you are all safe, happy and smiling, and I hope to see you very soon.
Hello, it's Mrs. Hill here. This week, as part of our Building Resilience, we've been asked to share with you some of the ways in which we are managing to de-stress. I would like to walk you around some of the important places in my home. In this room, I enjoy listening to music. I've even dug out my old record player. You may recognise this one.
You can put your mind and do whatever you want to do. Just tell yourself that you're capable too. But don't do things that ain't even cool. And get rid of them no good friends that's enabling you. Making you feel like you won't be nothing. Your life crumbling, they talk mumbling. You gon' be something. You are glorious. We're no gangs but warriors. We well known, notorious. They can't stop you or block you or mock you. They mad cause you bad and they not you. You fall down but get up and skip and hop through. Kick down doors for others to walk through. You have a purpose to make you say, did I do that? Urkel. Now we call it reality virtual. This is who I am. This is me. Don't let them words hurt you. When the sharpest words wanna cut.
Another thing which I enjoy doing in this area is reading. At the moment I'm reading the autobiography of Tyson Fury. For those of you who don't know who Tyson Fury is, he is the heavyweight champion of the world. The book is inspiring because it doesn't just talk about the way in which he became heavyweight champion of the world, he also talks about the importance of mental health and looking after yourself. Children in my class will also know that I am a great fan of poetry. This is a book which I was given for Christmas, and every morning before I go online I always sit with a cup of coffee and I read the poem for the day. The third way in which I'm finding I'm able to de-stress is with my pets in my home. Let me introduce you to them. Barney! 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 Here he comes at last. Here he is. Hello. Sit. You sit. Give me a paw. Give me a paw. Give me a paw. Paw. Eventually, with a little bit of persuasion. Thank you, Barney. The third area in my house which has really helped with de-stress has been redecorating. I have a small room at the back of my house which up to now has only really been used for storage, but along with the help of my husband and my children, I have transformed that into what I am calling my craft room. In my craft room I have my sewing machine set up. I've had my sewing machine for 3 or 4 years and haven't used it a great deal, but during lockdown I have been watching the Sewing Bee and have been inspired, beginning to sew a couple of bits of clothes of my own, and my youngest son has even been sewing face masks for his older brother who works in A&E. The final area of my home, which has really helped me during de-stress, has been my kitchen, where I love to bake. Let's see what's inside the cake tin today. Someone has gotten there before me. Oh well, that is me sorted for the rest of the day then. I'm going to de-stress by reading my cookery books and hopefully managing to recreate something. Keep safe, all of you, and remember it really is important to de-stress during these times. Take care.
Hello everybody, it's Mrs. A here, and I'm going to share a secret with you. When I'm not upside down doing handstands, I like to hang out in my potting shed. Not many people know about this. So here we have, let's see if I can swing this round, Mrs. Angus's potting shed. This is where it all happens, folks. And from this place I produce lots of vegetables, lots of fruit, and it's just a nice place to come, especially when the house is noisy and the rest of the family are running around and doing daft stuff. This is a great place to take to. And if you follow me, I will show you what's in my greenhouse. Yes, I have one of those too. So over here, Mrs. Angus's greenhouse, which is currently covered in a cloth because it's so hot in my greenhouse. And we have lots of things that I'm growing. I have peas, I have tomatoes, lettuce. I even have something called a Cape gooseberry. Very exciting. So, this is one of the things I like to do when I'm just relaxing. But I also have another very, very favourite place. And this favourite place is somewhere I go when I'm reading my book. So you guys have swings. This is Mrs. Angus's swing. And it's called a cocoon. And when I'm in there, I read, I drink my lemonade and relax. It's fabulous after a long, hard day. Anyway, nice to speak to you all, and I'm missing you all lots and lots and hope to see you all very, very soon. Take care, stay active.
So, boys and girls, some of the ways that I help myself to take a moment and things that help me to relax. Reading definitely has to be one of them. I'm a total bookworm and have been since I was a little girl. So I've been trying really hard to read more, to sit out in the sun and read, or to read before I go to sleep at night. I've actually downloaded the Kindle app for my phone because I've not been able to get my hands on new books and they're a lot cheaper. So that's a good tip. I've found myself baking and cooking a lot more because I just love to bake, and then of course you've got the tasty treats after it. I have been loving getting outside. The sound of the birds makes me feel really relaxed. You can see behind me my greenhouse. Oil tank, greenhouse. We are growing lots of fruit and vegetables this year, which makes me feel really good because I know that not only will we have lots of tasty things to eat, it's really relaxing planting them, watering, watching them grow. And the final thing that I would suggest has really helped me to relax is music. I found myself dancing around my kitchen, singing in the shower, and it definitely helps me to feel good and put a smile on my face.
Hi boys and girls, I'm here to talk about how I take a moment and what things I like to do to de-stress. So I like to have a nice bubble bath to take a moment for myself and to de-stress. I like to read, whether it's magazines or books or newspapers, just it depends what mood I'm in, what I feel like picking up and having a look at. I really enjoy going outdoors, like where I'm sitting right now. I really love nature and I love the sound of the birds chirping, especially at this time of year. Hearing water also, I find that very calming. So walking to the top of a field, at the top of a hill, is really quite calming and allows me to take a moment. I especially like watching sunsets. I'm not up early enough with my children to see the sunrise yet. Not to the top of hills anyway. So I like to go for nature walks with my children, sometimes without. Sometimes I need to take a moment from them. I like to listen to music. Sometimes the music's fast and dancey and I can sing about and enjoy that for myself. And sometimes I just want slow, easy listening, calm background music. So music lets me de-stress and take a moment. I really enjoy keeping fit and I find this is my me time. So I'll do yoga classes where I can stretch, and it's really good for your mind and your body. So I enjoy yoga. I also really enjoy running, especially off-road, so cross-country running, again with hills and beautiful views. I enjoy cycling. My husband and I share a road bike, so I've been cycling recently. I also enjoy exercise classes. Sometimes my kids join in with all these things, which is lots of fun. Sometimes they help me make up a little obstacle course or exercise class. So it's really important that you find ways that make you de-stress and feel happy and take a moment for you, especially in these uncertain, unsettling times of lockdown that we're in. So I hope you're all bringing yourself love and kindness and are taking a moment. Bye for now.
Hello everyone, I'm going to talk today about some things that I do when I feel I need to take a minute. The first thing I love to do is go out walking with my dogs. This is Ziggy, this is Tal under the table here, and we get outdoors into the fresh air every day together. Other things that I like to do when I feel the need to take a little bit of time to myself and just take a moment is I love to watch animals in nature. I like to watch birds. I like to watch types of birds that come to my bird table, and I like to just see wildlife out and about. It makes me feel really happy when I see different animals outside in the wild. I also like to be out in my garden, so I like to plant seeds, and I like to grow plants, and I like to cut back bushes and chop logs and all sorts of things like that to keep me outdoors. Another thing, when I feel I need to take a moment, is I love to read. So I've always got a book that I'm looking at and reading. One other thing I love to do when I feel I need to take a moment is I love to listen to music. These are my earphones, and I put those on sometimes when I'm walking, but sometimes when I'm maybe just sitting, thinking. Music's great for me when I need to take a moment. I wonder what some of the things you do when you feel you need to take a moment.
So, now that you've heard from all of us and how we like to take a moment, the things we do to make us feel better and to relax, I would like you all to have a think now about what you might like to do. You did this in school, so hopefully you will be able to remember some of the things that you came up with. But perhaps with the people at home, you could make a bit of a list of things you like to do. Have a look at your list and reflect. How many of those things are you doing just now? If you're managing to find time to do these things, then brilliant, keep it up. If, however, you are finding that you're not doing a lot of these things at the moment, you need to have a think about why. Is it because you're too busy with other things? In which case, what of those things could you scale down or do less of so that you could find more time for the things that make you feel good and make you feel calm? Or is it just a choice that you haven't done it? Have a think about it and see if you can think of a way to give yourself more time to do these things. I would also suggest that perhaps the grown-ups in your house could think about this too, because it can be very difficult for grown-ups to take their own advice. We all know that it's a really good idea to take time for ourselves, but grown-ups in particular can find it really hard. So grown-ups, perhaps you could all make a list, maybe 5 things that you like to do when you have the time. Think about the things particularly that you can do at home just now, because obviously we'd all love a spa day or maybe a meal out, and those things are not so accessible at the minute. But think about things you like to do at home. Perhaps the staff have given you some ideas. And let's see as a family if we can all try to take a moment with the things we enjoy that will make us feel better. Now, with that in mind, we have something special today. I'm not going to talk for as long today, which I'm sure you're all delighted with. Me too, because talking on the camera is not my favourite thing. But Mrs. Hartop has recorded us a rather special video. Now, all of the teachers at Denham will be able to tell you that Mrs. Hartop is one of the best bakers ever. We all tried to tell her to get herself onto the Great British Bake Off, and she never listens. But she is amazing. And she always looks after us by bringing us lovely treats that make us feel good. Today, she has recorded for you a video that shows you some of the things she likes to do when she's wanting to take a moment and de-stress, but it's very special because you will be able to watch it back and join in and do some baking with her. So, I'm going to hand over now to Mrs. Hartop, and I want to say a huge thank you to her for doing this, and we will see you all next time when we look at another of Skipper's tools. Take care.
Hi boys and girls. Today I thought I could share with you what I really like to do to make me feel better during this lockdown. And I thought that maybe you could take a look at what I'm doing and maybe you could do the same. So I thought that we could make some snowballs together. Now here's what you're going to need. You're going to need a packet of marshmallows, 228 grams of crushed digestive biscuits, 60 grams of butter, 2 tablespoons of drinking chocolate, 1 small tin of condensed milk, that's 193 grams, and some coconut to roll them in when we're finished. So that's the list of ingredients that you'll need to make this recipe. Okay. So before I start, I've obviously washed my hands really, really well because it's so important in this current climate. But I'm also going to gel my hands because I'm going to bake these cakes, and I've been doing shopping for old people that can't get out to the shops. So I thought if I put a little cake in with their shopping every time I go, it makes them look forward to their shopping bag when they get it, when I leave it on the doorstep, and they enjoy the cakes, okay? So we've got to be really thorough because we'll have to make sure that everything is so clean. So that's my hands gelled, okay? So the first thing I'm going to take is my biscuits. And I think the easiest way to blend the biscuits is to put them into a bag. Put them in a bag, and I've already started to mash them up, but I usually just take a rolling pin and I bash them. Okay. I really like to do things like this when things are a bit different. It makes me feel as if everything's normal. I've also been reading lots of books, and I like to get outside. That's why we're doing this outside today. I'm usually in my kitchen, but I thought it's not raining, so let's go outside. Okay, when you shake the bag, all the bigger bits come to the top, so then you know that you still have to bash out the big bits because it makes a nicer snowball. Okay. That's that. I put this into my bowl. And I'm quite happy with that. Shake my bowl and all the big bits come at the top, so then I might just go in and bash them out again. Okay. This resembles breadcrumbs, and that's fine enough, okay? So into my biscuits, I'm going to put 2 tablespoons of chocolate. Now I did show you 2 tablespoons of chocolate, but I've actually doubled my recipe because I am going to give lots of these out to people that I'm shopping for tomorrow. So I wanted to make 2 times my recipe. So I'm going, instead of my 2 tablespoons, I'm going to have to put 4 in. I've also got double the amount of biscuits, so I'm going to put double the amount of chocolate in. 1, 2, 3. This is quite a big spoon. 4, okay? Now my next job, I'm going to stir it in. And I'm going to have to nip into the house to get my milk and my butter. So in here I put my condensed milk. And I chop my butter into little pieces because that means that it melts quicker. Okay. This is a large tin of condensed milk, so I used all that because I've doubled. You will only use half of that. You'll use half a tin of this size if you're making one batch, okay? So I popped it in the microwave for about a minute and all the butter melted, stirred it in, and then I just pour it into my biscuit crumbs. Now I know lots of you make snowballs already, but I thought we'd put a little twist on them today by popping a marshmallow in the middle. If you don't want to do that, that's fine, just makes plain snowballs. It is a little bit more challenging, but I know that the majority of you will be able to do that easily. So I'm stirring it and it's all coming together. like so. And that's it ready. So that's your outside of the snowball made. The key here is to be organised. You will need 1 bag of marshmallows, but I'm probably going to need 2, so that's them there. So I need it laid out the way that I'm going to use them. So first my marshmallow, scales to the side. We didn't use them because I had already weighed everything up. You know that when you use the scales, if you need to get a grown up to help you, and you know that the scale has always got to start at 0, okay? So I've got my marshmallows, my mixture, and then I've got some coconut here that I'm going to roll them in at the end. And then I've got my little cases that I'm going to pop them in. So I'm going to start off by wetting my hands, which is quite important because it makes it much easier to work with the mixture. And I'm not going to dry them thoroughly, I'm going to keep them a little bit damp. And I'm going to pick up a piece of the mixture about this size. Okay, and I like the pink ones, I always use the pink ones first. And then you just pop it in, and you seal it, then you roll it into a ball, like that. Pop it into the coconut, okay? Again, another one, about this size. Pop that in the middle, wrap it around, and roll it into a ball. Same again. Now, if you didn't want to put a marshmallow in the middle, that's absolutely fine. You would just roll them into balls and pop them into the coconut. Your choice, okay? But I just think it makes them a little bit more special. Okay. Just sort of flatten it out with your fingers, and because your fingers are a bit damp, it makes it easy to do. There we go, and we're rolling it in the palms of your hands because that's a little bit warm, and then pop it into the coconut. Now I always just shake them like that and then pick them out and pop them into your paper cases you've already prepared, which makes it much easier than trying to dash and find some paper cases when you're in the middle of a job. Now after I've done that, I'll rinse my hands again just a little bit, because I like them damp for that mixture. I then take another piece, flatten it out, put my marshmallow in it, roll it up, seal it first and then roll it round. Okay, I hope you've all been staying safe and getting some exercise and eating lots of fruit and vegetables, because that makes you feel better. And I've even been doing my e-learning online. Mrs. McCready sends me work to do, and I've got to sit and do my work as well. Okay, another one. Joe Wicks. Oh yeah, I've been doing Joe Wicks. My husband's reminded me that I've been doing Joe Wicks in the mornings, which is very good. I know lots of you have been doing that as well. So well done, a good way to stay healthy. Even just getting outside, having a wee ride on your bike, or a walk in the park, not to go to the swings, but staying away from people, that's what's really important. Okay, so I'm not going to bore you with showing you lots and lots of these because it's very repetitive. So I'll just do that. See how I've not put too many in here, or else they will all just bunch together. So that's some more ready. Okay, now I usually leave them for a little while to set, not long, 10 minutes, and then I put them in a tub so as they don't dry out. That's important as well, because you can spoil all your hard work if you leave them out and they just all go dry. So I usually put them in a sealed container. Tomorrow I'll pop them into little bags, and everyone will be really pleased to get a couple of those when they're shopping. Okay, so we're just going to recap now. So first, we crushed the biscuits. Okay, then we added the drinking chocolate. Then we melted the butter in the condensed milk, and I just popped that in the microwave for a minute. Okay, you can get a grown-up to help you with that bit because it can be quite warm. Next, stir the milk into the biscuit crumbs and mix it well. After that, take a piece of mixture, flatten it out like you saw me do, and wrap it around a marshmallow. Then you just roll it into a ball and pop it in the coconut and toss it around. Okay? And then I'm going to cut one open and let you see what it looks like, because I think they look really nice. I've got a knife here, and I'm just going to chop one in half, and it's definitely going to be a pink one because I only used pink ones. And there's your marshmallows, okay? So I hope you try this recipe because it's something nice to do, and it fills a bit of time in, and it feels like a bit of a treat, okay? Stay safe. Okay, stay safe, and I'll hopefully see you really soon. Okay, bye just now.